The Insight and Innovation Conference is in Bangkok from December 4 to 5, and in the lead-up, I'm talking to various thought leaders about the current state of insights and what we can expect in the next decade. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Sid from Kantar Profiles in Singapore, Nuchy from Intage Thailand, and Joel from Nature Research in Australia. Proudly brought to you by the Asia Pacific region's best insights conference, IIeX, and My Employer Life: Achieve Your Goals Through Your People. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us. We have literally got a United Nations of Asia Pacific expertise here with us today, from representing Thailand, Singapore, we've got Australia, and also myself in Indonesia. So the first question I wanted to ask is that, we're sitting at the edge of a new decade. So the 19s or the 2010s are almost finished up, and what I wanted to get your perspectives on is where are we right now from an industry point of view, and consider even the last 5 years and how things have changed recently. So Nuchy, let's start with you again. What's your view on where we are right now?
Okay, well, let's say for me, these past 3 years, it's been a total disruption to me,
Right.
to the company for the market research. Okay, it's kind of on the same dynamic as the whole world. We have to embrace into a lot of online, digital, and also a lot of analytics. So if you ask me, the market research to me is one of the major industry that has to be disrupted by the technology, by the analytic world, and also by the changing behavior of the so-called client.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get into some technology and some specifics later on, but that 3-year time frame is probably not is not a bad one to use. Sid, what's your thoughts? If we take that last sort of 3-4 years, particularly from your perspective, I mean, your organization's been going through some changes itself, but what's your view of the broader industry based on the people you speak with?
Yeah, so I think it's a very interesting phase to be in, with all the disruption going on, and I think the best place or hub for disruption is actually Asia. So I find myself very fortunate that we are here in the epicenter of all the disruption, thanks to all the mobile and internet revolution and social media influences going on. I think it's a huge opportunity for us. And I think as market researchers, we need to make sure that, we are combining forces, joining hands, and, making the most of technology and automation, because that's those are buzzwords, but they mean nothing if you don't know how to apply them accurately. So I think that's where, companies like us or, my fellow panelists, help in to, help the clients to digest everything, to make sure that they are able to navigate and get good quality data, which is key for all our decision-making processes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think echoing the feedback so far, it feels like we're at this really interesting point in our industry where technology is opening up so many opportunities to us. We're seeing the pace of change accelerating in our professional lives and our personal lives. Our access to information is just getting quicker and quicker and quicker. But at the same time, I think more and more companies are calling on us as researchers and consultants to actually have that really good relationship with them and help them demystify that. So I think it's this really interesting tension between speed of insights and access to data at a scale unprecedented. But at the same time, it's that real one-to-one personal human connection that is so important to help our clients' businesses navigate the new world they find themselves in.
Okay, I'd like to add on a bit on the first question. I'd like to add on that one thing that to support what Sid said is that we are truly exciting because we are in the epic of the disruption. Especially Thailand, we can consider our country as the mobile first. So right now, even the market research is mainly going towards online. And one thing that on mobile, sorry. And one thing that I learned last few years is that today, the working environment is more on the collaboration, more than the competition. That's what I like to add on the first question.
Okay, so this is what this is actually a summary of one of the huge number of results from the Grit report came out earlier this year in 2019, and I wanted to. So this is what everyone else is saying are the buzz topics. You know, you can see there, and let's take the top 5 in the bottom left: the AI in general, research automation in general, which is something you mentioned. Said behavioral science and economics, something we haven't spoken about yet, but I'd love to get your thoughts about this, and also machine learning and big data. So there's a lot of automation and technology with some behavioral science thrown in there. So what are your thoughts in looking at the difference between buyers and providers or suppliers? Is this actually what you're seeing in your markets, you know, in the different markets you represent?
So I'll probably take it. So I think artificial intelligence is everywhere, right? We see companies who innovate like Apple or Google, using artificial intelligence, whether it's Siri or Google Home or Alexa, is being used all over. So and that is helping us navigate, think more from humans' perspective. As far as at Kantar, what we have seen, at artificial intelligence is we are trying to explore it in 2 areas. One is conversational AI. So that means, chatbots to create more conversational environments. So think of a traditional, research design for a diary study, and you're looking for someone who's, cooking in a kitchen, and you can now ask them, to record this while they are still cooking in their kitchen, and without waiting for all the details to be entered later. So this is more like real-time interaction happening with the chatbot, which allows us to capture more enriched data sources such as images, videos, or from people in the moment. So I think that is really interesting. Plus, what happens on a machine learning perspective is the authentication process. For example, when a respondent wants to join and voice his opinions or give a survey, by applying machine learning as part of the panelist registration process, we are detecting fraud. We are trying to detect as the registrar not permitted of the survey environment. So not only does this allow us greater confidence in the quality of data, but also has a faster turnaround time. So this can be actioned more rapidly into marketing activity itself.
No, I completely agree. And building on Sid's point, I think AI has some real potential for us in terms of helping along with the data collection side of things. But I think where this starts to get interesting is both in the kind of data quality, but also the data curation side. And I think where that starts to become really exciting is it allows researchers to spend their time on the things that really matter, which is about understanding people and behavior and motivations. And it frees us up from having to spend time in low value tasks, populating PowerPoint reports or populating presentations. Ultimately, it allows us to focus more on what is the meaning. And I think AI, who knows where that's going to take us, but the potential there to really help us get to the meaning of consumer behavior and help, facilitate data collection, it's going to change the industry completely.
Yeah, sure. So Thailand is a market which is very different to Singapore and Australia, Nuchy. So what are your thoughts about this graph here and what you're seeing from both a buyer and a supplier point of view? I mean, is it can you sort of confirm that this is probably what the reality is there as well?
Well, actually, one thing that I can confirm is that for the AI, the automation, the machine learning, the big data here in Thailand, the percentage of the suppliers a lot more than the buyer right now. We are like having many newcomers, many new technology company, and sometimes trying to do the market research stuff as well. So to me, on the left-hand side of the graph, it's the supplier size here is quite high. Okay, the thing that I see on my everyday working, talking to all the clients is that maybe the behavior, the analysis, the insight is still the part that the market research, the very good one, they are still doing very good. And the data or the machine learning or the analytic company, they kind of still lacking of this part. So the best thing for Thailand and for the client is that if the market research company implement the very good accuracy data analytics and use the very good insight analysis and give them the best result of behavior. That's the key thing that the clients still want from the business now.
So there's at almost every conference you go to, and certainly a lot of articles are dedicated to technology. But I also wanted to just get your opinion about something which really caught my attention when I went through the report and when I was looking at the summary, which is around time-related challenges. So I remember, over the years, the promise of technology suggesting that it's going to save some time. So we're going to save some time. We're going to be able to get more done. And I wanted to get your views from your personal perspectives on this as a challenge, and whether this is actually something that you can see in your day-to-day work.
Yeah, I'm happy to open the floor on this one. I think the time-related challenges thing for me is such an interesting question, because at the end of the day, we're all consumers as well. We're all people, and we exist in a world where our access to information is instantaneous. We can pull open this phenomenal device in our pocket and access almost anything we wanted to in the blink of an eye. And I think that's starting to translate into our work lives as well, where rightfully so, businesses are demanding quicker access to insights. Decisions need to be made quicker. And you look at what a bad piece of PR can do to a company, they need to be operating at those same challenges. Their world is changing by the minute, by the second. And I think traditional research that takes 6 to 8 to 12 weeks to complete a project, that's just not good enough anymore. We need to be responding for our clients far quicker, getting them closer to the consumer and providing insights at almost real-time speeds, because decisions do need to be made quickly and businesses do need to change what they're doing almost on a dime. That's the reality of the world we live in.
How fast can we get to? What's realistic?
Yeah, so I think the answer is that automation is the key. So I believe automation is a clear answer to the challenges of speed, manpower, accessibility, and cost. So I think that will play a critical role. If we are not automating, if we are not using technology, as I said, we need to connect with consumers or with respondents in the way that matters to them. And whether it's through WeChat or WhatsApp or Line in Thailand, we need to connect with audiences like that. So if you're not having a mobile approach or mobile friendly questionnaire, you're going to lose out on a huge set of audiences. And also, what technology gives you is a broad reach and scale that respondent and businesses can tap onto compliantly and therefore confidently. I'm surprised to see insights and analysis is a challenge, so maybe we need to do a better job there, though. So,
yeah, nice. Nuchy, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Okay. Well, about the time-related challenges, I think for Thailand, because as I told you, we are kind of mobile-first country. Yeah. So everything, I think, to me, faster and faster and faster and faster. Okay. But the thing that I see is that Thai people, even we are very mobile-first, but we see one thing is that we're not living only on the digital world. We are also living in the real world. So the way we do the business, especially the market research, we have to combine the automation and also the real of people, the real human activity too. So to me, for Thailand, the time-related challenge, that topic is for the business is mainly the client will request the results faster. But to me, the technology will help us a lot. I can do so many things like 3 or 4 times faster than I used to do it for the client. So to me, I think that it's a kind of challenge for both the client and the supplier. But to me, for the market research in Thailand, I think technology helps us making it quicker. And to me, I embrace that. Yeah, I'd like to add. Yeah, I'd like to add a bit on the insight and analysis. Okay, even we talk a lot on the big data, even we talk a lot about on the AI and things. A lot of clients come back to me now because they are already have, like, for example, bank clients. They already have their own analytics in their company, in their organization. But now they have to come back to me because now they are overwhelming with the data. and they don't know what to do with that data. So the part of insight analysis is still our key weapon for market research people. If we can combine ourselves to become not only the researcher, but to become the business analyst, reading the data together with the business scenario, and then give the client the solution, then I think we are still on the ahead of the game. That's what I like to add on.
Yeah. I think it's almost a wonderful advertisement for what the industry should turn into, which actually segues beautifully into the question that I've been dying to ask you so far, which is, what's your prediction for the future? So here we are again, as we started out today. We're at the dawn of a new decade, right? So things have moved aggressively. Really, we picked a 3-year time frame, and I think the things that have changed even over the last 3 to 5 years have been a lot. I'm interested in your views about whether the change will continue to become, continue to be exponential. What's your prediction? What's your tip? What's your thoughts about where things might go? And even if you'd like to add a bit more about where you'd like to see things go, I think that'd be really interesting.
In terms of where the future's going, I actually think it's a really exciting time right now. Looking at where technology is going, AI, automation, big data, the theories that are being developed, the appetite for clients, we start to look at things like better access to insights. They're embracing automation, they're embracing machine learning. I think it's a really exciting time in the industry. I think we're going to get access to things we'd only dreamed about. I think we're going to see that pace of change accelerate. And I think it's a really good time to be at an agency, hearing from Sid, hearing from Nuchy about companies that are so open to embracing this change and trying new things. I think the industry is going to change, and if you're at the front of it, it's a super exciting time. And ultimately, I think at the heart of it, it's going to be relationships, collaboration, understanding your client's brief and tailoring something to that. Ultimately, it's about people working with people. It's always going to be about that. It's just about tools and technology and process that ultimately make that easier and get out of the way so we can get down to what matters, and that's understanding people.
Absolutely echo, and I think optimism, there's a lot of optimism, about our industry and about the future, which is great. I cannot say this very confidently about a lot of various industries, but these are exciting times we are in, with major data transformation shifts happening all over the place. And it's probably just the beginning of a totally new era for MR. Like I saw the grid report, whereas buyers of research have reported, grown their research function by 28% in the last year. However, with budgets getting higher, there'll be more scrutiny and, growing need to deliver ROI on research projects. And I think that's where technology and automation will play an important role in simplifying and making the process to gain data more accessible to both brand owners and insight professionals. So things like DIY tools and reporting dashboards at speed and scale are going to be paramount and critical. And there'll be more joint up approach that maximizes the investment of research and marketing output across a range of channels. That's what we want to see. So that's my
your where things going. Nuchy, from your perspective, not just in Thailand, of course, but as someone who's got experience in the industry and knows and been at conferences around the region, what are your thoughts about where things are getting to, and where would you like to see things land in the next couple of years?
Okay, I'll say 3 things for the next few years. Definitely supporting to what Joel said is that 5G is definitely coming. So it means faster, and faster for the business, for the people, and of course for our customer, okay, our client, okay. Second thing, I still start seeing that we are overwhelming with the big data and machine learning. Yes, we're still going on that track, but I can see right now for Thailand, there is like not a pause, but like a little slowdown on this, and our client looking for the more on the deeper insight. So second, from the first one is 5G is meaning faster. Second one, I would like to say that insight is still the heading. insight is beyond technology. So when you talk about technology, right now we have to think more on the humanware, how people can analyze the accurate data to turn into a very quality solution. And the third one, I think the very thing that I'm seeing is that Facebook or Google or whatever, they will get more obstacles from the customer in terms of digital privacy. People will start to ask a bit more on their privacy on this. And this is, to me, giving us the market research to spinning out in again, because we are doing the same thing as they are, but we are doing with a very serious matter on privacy. That's three things that I like to highlight.
Yeah, I think that's why it becomes very important for companies like us, to regulate and be the leaders in this space, because data privacy and quality, like GDPR, CCPA coming in, to regulate and quality is very important. Also, I think, as I said, this is a human thing, and we need to understand why. When we understanding the why and validate, is also because we provide a permission-based approach. So, unless you're doing as I was mentioning earlier, companies like Facebook and Google have wealth of data, but do they have the right permissions in place to use that? So that's why to understand the what, the why behind the what is. That's why companies like us become relevant, and permission-based is critical.
Mm.
Absolutely. I mean, we've done a couple of projects which have been commissioned by the Victorian government looking at data privacy and data sharing specifically. We've done a couple of pieces off the back of the Cambridge Analytica and Facebook scandal, and we're having lots of conversations with several digital clients now about the opt-in versus the opt-out process and what that means about the future of their business and making sense of consumer behavior. I think people, to Nuchy's point, I think people see the value in what their data is worth. And I think people now are becoming more conscious of what they give away and what they get back. And I think there's a very fine line between, tailored solutions for consumers where it's open and it's honest, and this feels like it's a one-to-one communication, and something which goes too far and feels like a little bit too much about me. And I think as agencies, we need to be the custodians of that data, protect people's information, do the right thing by them. But ultimately, again, it's about how do we, link up that consumer behavior and what people are saying so our clients can access it while protecting the rights of the consumer. Really, we're the conduit between the consumer and the business. And that requires a huge amount of trust and a huge amount of responsibility.
Yeah. I'm actually fascinated personally to see how that's all going to play out. There's that and where that topic will land in 3 years' time. I guess time will tell. All right, team. Well, I think we're going to leave it there. I think we've covered a lot of ground today. Thank you very much for your time, giving up your time. And I've written down all of these predictions that you've made, and I'm going to be in touch in 3 years' time to see who's right.
We'll take bets.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. It's been great.
Bye-bye.
Myself in Indonesia. I'm actually not going to introduce our panel today. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Let's start with you, Nuchy. Tell us about yourself quickly.
Yep. Okay. My name is Nuchy with the N like Gucci. Okay. I'm mainly from the advertising arena for 15 years, but I'm just joining the research arena for like I think 7, 8 years. And now I'm working with Intage Thailand. The mother company is in Tokyo. It's Intage Holding Group, and we have a huge building in Akihabara. Yeah.
Yes, Intage, massive company. Thanks for joining us. Joel, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Joel, currently work at Nature in Australia. Been in the industry about a decade now, kind of fell into it accidentally, as a lot of people do. Originally started Millward Brown, looking at brand and comms. Sounded like a branding and communications company. Little did I know it was research, but been here ever since. Love kind of understanding consumer motivations and learning that with the research side of things. So yeah, it's been fun and loving it so far.
I would love to do a poll of everyone in research across the world to see who many actually planned to get into the industry and how many just fell into it. Maybe that's
quite a few. I wonder.
Maybe that's a grid question next time. And finally, Sid, Sid, you're sitting in Singapore. Tell us about yourself.
Hey, Jason. Hi. Good to be here today. I'm Sid. I'm working with Kantar. Within Kantar, I work exclusively for the profiles division, which was formerly known as Lightspeed. And I have a pretty interesting story. I landed up in research because, I had to drive my parents for a party, back in the good old days, almost a decade and a half ago. And there I met someone who was a consultant recruiting for Greenfield, which is formerly an online research company acquired by Microsoft and then by Taluna. And so I landed up with them, and one thing led to another, and I got myself a job as a scripter with Greenfield Online, and life has been good since so far.
Fantastic. Thank you for watching, and watch out for more interviews with other thought leaders across the Asia Pacific region. Purchase your tickets for IIeX Bangkok December 4 to 5 from this website, insightsinnovation.org, and use this discount code to save 30% off your full ticket. I'm Jason Buchanan. This has been APAC Insight. See you next time.